afternoon, it was snow squalls. Snow was most stacked.
Really?
5 minutes and the sun came out. We stayed in for the day.
Oh, y'all should have went out and been like that deadliest catch crab fishing show out there trying to.
Okay, I'll answer it. Hello? Oh, I don't know. Push the wrong button. Yeah. You heard that, yeah. You're right. Yeah, yeah.
What's the name of the project?
I did.
Radio
Yeah,
2.0.
yeah, sure was, yeah.
Coach, you want me to write on there?
Yeah, we called, several, that was the biggest one.
That ain't what we're naming the park. That's just, you gotta call it something, and that's what it's been going by.
Well, I said, if you got an official name you was putting on paper.
Just that. Because on the application and all the talks that we've had about it up till now, they've called it 2.0.
Lose a second, ain't it?
Yep.
And the grandpa would say all day long.
All day.
So close.
I have mine. Here's a copy right here. She says she's got one. They don't keep them on that paper. Thank you. Of course, yeah.
Emma, here's my form. You wanna pick up? I think everybody's signing their forms, so.
I'll take it for that. Thank you.
I think Cheryl supposed to come. Zach, here's a kind of starting point. There's the man with the plan right there.
Don't read it. Yeah, I know.
That's pertinent to the current meeting.
I'll be done in a minute.
All right, you're fine. Just call me over.
If I have to print.
You sign one more?
Not yet.
Well, she's part of the business, yes, I want to.
She wants to hear the discussion, make her decision. Let's give one to everybody in here.
This is the 8:30 meeting. See, we're all here, so we'll call the public hearing on the Land and Water Conservation Fund. We'll call the meeting to order. Cheryl. So we'll go through the formalities at our 9 o'clock meeting. So where this is just a public hearing, basically we're gathering to get public comment on the application of the Land and Water Conservation Fund. So we have to have this hearing to get public input. So Madam Clerk, if you would call the roll, please.
Squire Stump.
Here.
Squire Ferris.
Here.
Squire Eldridge.
Here.
Judge Travis.
Here.
Squire Travis.
Here.
Squire Coffin.
Here.
All present.
All right, we're all here. Thanks everyone for coming. Brian is here, and I don't want to make him jump up just quick unless he's ready to go. But you all know that we have been working on the area of Ray Jewell Park that we bought years ago, and we put it in grass. And, we've talked about filling out this for the Land and Water Conservation Fund application, and we're finally getting around to getting the application submitted. It has to be in by June 15th, I think, which kept us helping us get it. Page 3 in your book is kind of what I'm going by right now. But we have to have this meeting to obtain input from local public. So any citizen of the county, we'd like to include a diverse element to the population, which today we're all areas of the county are represented. And it's best if citizens are involved in actually setting the priorities for projects. And since we will be pursuing a grant, that's why we're having this meeting. I passed out a page that Karen Clark kind of put together over the weekend, and I'll just come on up, Brian, if you would. We've talked about Katie's making copies of the application. I've got one here I'll show you. Pretty lengthy, several pages. It has several pages to go over, but she's bringing a copy of it over to pass, to give out to all of us. It has, it's pretty basic information on page 1. Page 2, of course it calls it page 3. Page 3 and 4 has, I don't know if you looked at this, Brian, you looked at this one. Stuff you can check to apply for. And when Katie gets them over here, we'll pass them all out. But we had a meeting the other day in the office. Brian was there. We were discussing it, and where we kind of landed is we need to get the road put in there. We need to get parking lots built. Of course, we're getting the roads connected under the bridge, and we probably need to focus on getting facilities built or somewhat built, and getting the fields staked out where people think can go ahead and play. But the biggest focus was going ahead and getting the parking lot and the road put in so people would start using. You know, we have it all in grass. It could be used right now, but there's really nothing. You'd have to park in the grass also. So, Brian, I'll just turn it over if you have anything to add to any of that.
Like you said, I think the basic thing right now is definitely getting the road through her and some parking lot spaces, so we can kind of figure out how we're gonna really design the fields, which I got some designs on it, but I think basically the main thing right now is definitely getting them roads and the parking spaces in there, so we can kind of figure out where we're gonna go from there.
And basically, of course, the rules on the application, it's you know, we can use volunteer work for a match. I believe you could get up to $1 million. I was aiming to read that again this morning to get it fresh in my head, but I didn't get around to it yet. Up to $1 million. Hey, Emma, if you don't mind, can you go meet Katie and get copies of these
Sure can.
from her? She's getting copies of those made up.
Yep, on her way.
But, yeah, the maximum request is $1 million, and the applicant must match the grant with 50% of the total project, dollar per dollar. But all the work that the county road department has done, you know, stuff and so forth, I'm pretty sure will apply to that. So, and stuff that we still have to do. But part of it was to have this meeting to get public input. So that's why we're here right now. So you all can just get your thoughts on things. If y'all have anything to add?
Is there like $1 million limit for you? You got 700,000 here in these 2 phases. Can we come back and apply for an extra, or do we have to apply for the whole thing at once, or how does that work?
Well, I know last week or 2 weeks ago, I put 500,000 on there. That so I don't know if we got 500,000 to put into it for match. You know, and again, that would be a lot of volunteer hours. But so I kind of wasn't going that big just yet. And I don't think we're at the point to go that big right now.
My question really was, is once we do this, can we do it again 2 years from now, years from now, blah, blah, blah?
Yes. In fact, the only thing you can or can't do is you can't have 2 going at once.
I got you.
So if we do this one, we would have to close it out. We'd have to close it out, and then you can do another one. You know, and in fact, we just closed out, I think, the lights that maybe you all did at the previous court.
Well, I think it's better to take it in smaller chunks instead of biting off too much of a commitment at once with some other stuff that we're planning on doing.
Right. If you look at those pages, it's actually page 3 and 4.
In this thing,
Yeah, in this thing, it's just got passed out. You know, it has the letter A, campgrounds, B, picnic areas, C, sports and play fields, which that kind of, you know, catches us. We're not doing a golf course. D, you know, like fishing facilities, you know, for example, where all that lays along the creek, you see letter G there. If you had a blacktop walkway all the way around the park, you know, you could have that, you could have access to fishing there, and this grant would apply, you know, for that. If you look under the, like picnic areas, B, you know, we definitely be having some sort of group shelter. If you have facilities, you'd have a roof where they could serve food and stuff. Under C, you have general purpose play fields, baseball, softball. You know, you could check the first two there easily. Other courts, if you wanted to put pickleball over there, you could put a check on that one. You know, this place is big enough down the road, you could have the archery, you know, potentially, not that you want to have people over, I guess it'd be bad to have people over shooting bow and arrows at a park. But, so I'll leave that one off for here. But the fishing access, you definitely don't want them over there shooting guns and pistols. But then on page 4, see like trails, you've got hiking trails, nature trails, exercise trails. On the passive parks there, walkways, you will have landscaping, we'll need equipment, we'll need to run utilities, roads and walkways, we need to do parking, we will need some signage, a concession stand. I was looking more for facilities, but you know, any of those last three, comfort stations, concession stand, maintenance building. And then, you know, over here, you've got, you could have a natural area, other, but those are some of the ideas I had about what we'll be using, you know, these dollars for on this application. Anyone have anything to add to that? And again, Dustin Duncan and Kipta, and they're helping us out with this. Page 7 is where you can, where you keep up with your match and figure out the amount of money. Donated labor, donated equipment, donated materials. You know, you have, with like if the baseball group is over there, you know, doing work, then that would apply. If you look on page 8 there at the very bottom where it says public meeting and concurrences, you know, again, this is a requirement, and that's why we're having this meeting today. We'll have to make all these other assurances. And I think we passed the resolution in the past under attachment 8H. Anyone in the audience like to make a comment about the park?
And, I was thinking, you know, add a small playground on the other side of the park, because that one is pretty far away from
Yeah.
the, I don't think parents who are there with the baseball and stuff, miles away.
Yeah, I don't disagree at all. Definitely need to.
What's Brian think about the whole thing?
I think right now, get the small stuff, like the roads and the parking lot done first, and then I think go from there.
Anything we can do to get the soccer fields open up. Now you got four or five trashed fields out there? We ain't gonna have nothing but a dirt truck for demolition derby when they get done. Am I wrong, Brian?
Yeah, it's pretty nasty, but
Yeah, it's pretty nasty.
I think it'll recover.
That's what, if you've ever,
It definitely just need drainage. I mean, it just somehow, some way, I went to, jump and try to find out which way these tiles or whatever run. There's no records on anything. It's just pretty much like we just dug up and retiled or something with just no drainage.
Where at, Watford?
There's some pipes that come out, but there's nothing coming out of it.
Well, they probably put in,
Had to go through the creek. I seen them, I walked the creek and I seen the pipes in there, but there's nothing coming out of it.
they probably done failed by now, they probably put in 40 years ago.
Well, they'll keep working until they get, you know, it's a very good chance, it's like when we run a water line, you dug through them. Potentially, when they drilled holes, it could have hit into them. But generally, they stay working. Was it plastic or clay that you saw?
Plastic.
Plastic tile. And, now they'll, as wet as it's been, they should have been running water almost all spring. But they'll run, after a rain event, they'll run several days and then they'll dry up, you know, and quit.
You ever seen where the water run out of?
One,
How many is it?
Well,
four.
but I mean,
One at the back field, that's the one I seen water run out of, but we don't have too much trouble with there, it's just that front part.
as wet as it's been, and I guess they've been getting their season in.
Yeah, then
The season's
part of
over, most of it.
and then that started fall season in August or so.
Yeah, it'd all be in shape then. I mean, as wet as it is now, grass, if you need to go in and reseed it, grass will grow.
Well, I talked to, I guess the guy that owns the storage units out there, he said he's the one that owns that dirt or whatever too. And he said if there's anything he can do, just let him
Okay, yeah,
know.
out here
But I
goes.
just don't think it's a dirt problem, it's more drainage problem.
Well,
I agree.
it's just, I mean, it's like Mike said, it's been too wet to play soccer, but they got their season in.
I'm glad it's over.
Yeah.
Because we're gonna need to, well, we're just gonna have to reseed it, get it back safe for the fall, I mean,
Well, I'm sure you can go down there and drag it out and we can buy some seed and reseed it.
She's full, I talked to her Saturday,
It'd be
tell
fine.
me what she needs and
Yeah,
we'll try to seed it back over and see what it does from there. But
yeah.
I told her, hopefully they can stay off of it until their next season comes up, or she just want to switch fields or something, switch it around.
of course, we'll reseed it, and it won't rain for 3 months.
Well, when it gets as damp as it is, it gets up 80, 90 degrees, anything's gonna come up quick.
I think, is there a creek or some kind of, something must goes under there because it stays wet.
Well, it runs under, the water off these hills gets underground. It stays underground now. Yeah, the surface runs around that ditch, but it'll seep out from underneath that hill that's why the farmers put that drainage tile in years ago. But, I mean, there's some where I farm, could be 100 years old and still working good, you know, and then there's other places it's quit.
I noticed when there was a little snow on this past winter, one day, at the Susie's Bottoms there, you could see every one of those lines.
Yeah, where the tile
25 feet
was.
apart, just, you know, going all through that whole bottom. I never seen that before.
If you plant it in weed, it'll be greener right over top of that tile. I mean, I had a field that I needed to do some work on the tile, and I put it in wheat just for that reason. And then you could see where the lines were at. Of course, you could follow the holes where the tile had failed too. So we'll go ahead and, any other discussion on this, land and water conservation grant from the court or the public? Andrew, what do you think about having another park? It'd be good?
I think it's all good.
All right.
I have no complaints.
We got positive news from the audience. Mr. Jones?
Sounds good.
Kids play is always a good thing. Emma, how about you?
I think it'll be great.
All right.
I think the water access would be good too, whether it's fishing or kayaking, I think that'd be.
Yep.
Laura? Good park.
I don't have any children, so it
Oh.
doesn't affect me.
You can still do
I mean, I
it.
think it's a good idea, but
Yeah, okay. So we've pretty much got the full buy-in to the audience. Cheryl, you're a visitor here, I know.
I love more access to park.
Yeah,
Pro park.
Good.
Troll Park.
What do you want on the top line of this part to name the project?
We put 2.0, because that's what we've been calling it, Ray Jewel 2.0, but that's not the official name. But that's,
Is that what you want us to put on there?
well, that's what we've been calling it, at least over in my office, yeah,
2.0?
yeah. And that's not for any reason other than we had to call it something. Good to have you guys.
Good to be here. Good to meet you.
Yep. So,
I was supposed to be in the June 15th, is there any timetable on when it'll be announced if we awarded the grant?
I guess it's,
I haven't seen anything on it, so I was wondering if you,
sometime after that. And we're having a public hearing on if you're pro-park or anti-park. And I'm guessing all three of you guys would probably be pro-park for kids to play. We're gonna apply for a land and water conservation grant. We had to have a public hearing, so we're about to wrap it up. So, all right. Not sure about everything covered here before we adjourn. And then Laura will need minutes for this, so you'll take care of that.
yes, sir.
All right, well, if no one else has any comments to add, we'll declare this public meeting on the Land and Water Conservation Fund application adjourned. All right, so we'll start our next meeting in 8 minutes.
Thanks, Brian.
Thank you, Brian.
Brian, where you going?
What do you mean?
Where you going?
I got work to do, man.
Oh, yeah. Did everybody get their thing turned in to him? Here's another one, Emma.
There you go, man. Oh, yeah.
It was just citizen, I think, right?
I don't know what it says, whatever it says on that sheet.
Put the county attorney's address. Not his home address, I'm just talking about the office address.
What is that right now?
Are we, streaming this live?
Sure are.
Yeah, it is every day. Every day it's working.
That's what it is.
Yeah. Well, folks that dropped off bids, Emma give them a way to watch.
Yeah, I had an email this morning asking me that.
Yes, ma'am.
And told them to call if they can't get it to work, and we try to get them hooked on.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, you good. That's fine. Just go on and send me. If I'm out there, one of my guys will do it. Yeah.
Mr. Feder, you approve of building parks?
Building what?
Parks.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Hello?
You wanna fill out this paper and support it? I'm from the judge's office.
Oh, yeah. Bob, you're with Soil Conservation today?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll get you in and out. You can stay as long as you want.
Okay,
Sometimes we go pretty late, but I'll try to get you in early.
okay.
I'll let you follow the road guys. Church.
That'll help, I got some hay now.
Okay. Yeah. I talked to a fellow that got hay in last week, and he said, I got it in good. I couldn't imagine how he got it in good, because we haven't had any hay weather at all. And, right, and you put that hay in the barn, if you pile it up, sometimes it's on fire. You hate to leave them outside, and, you know, let them kind of cool out because it's raining.
Not much fine weather last week.
Yeah.
How big of a barn you need to place got turned out pretty good.
Yeah. All the empty. Yeah, I got it on the agenda for us to discuss roads. We got lots to talk about. Of course, we voted to blacktop around the recycling center and stuff. I don't know if you've seen it. But we didn't vote to do Spears. I told the mayor the next day, I said, if you want to do Spears and make little good, well, they're there. Well, I got talked into doing that, so they did Spears. Well, now we're going to try to focus on all the other roads around McDonald's and stuff. So, and now I'm getting different opinions from depending on who you ask as to who. I've always been told that it belongs to the people that have lots. So, I researched it in the clerk's office the other day, and it's hard to tell because the original plat talks about access, and then there's newer plats that access is not marked. The property boundary goes beyond the access. So I guess, Cheryl, you guys will need to probably do some title searches. And might try to get this, of course, I can't get the city, you know, I have no authority at the city, I can only request. But between their legal and our legal, we need to get a title opinion on all those streets around
I was gonna
McDonald's.
say, typically what we would do is have something outside
Do it,
entities do
Okay.
the title searches, because you're gonna want title insurance, you're gonna want the search.
okay,
I mean, we can do it, but
yeah.
we better protect it and have the title.
Well, I don't think we're not transferring anything, so you ain't really got nothing to be protected about.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It ain't like that. Nothing's changing hands. Yeah.
Just getting information.
Getting information, I mean, to me, what needs to happen, and I know we're just chatting before a meeting, but what needs to happen is the roads are not gonna be brought up. If you've got a measuring stick,
Just like the steer road.
no, like the road behind the new U of L Center.
It's 9 o'clock.
Yeah. So,
All those sad streets.
anyway, we'll get, all right. We'll go ahead and call the meeting to order. Welcome everyone here today. The 9 a.m. June 2nd meeting. We've had a wet spring and lots going on and so forth, but as always, if those in the audience choose to participate, Jim, would you open in a word of prayer, please?
Father God in heaven, we appreciate this beautiful day you've given us, and we appreciate this opportunity that we can come and meet and make decisions for the county. And Father, as we always do, we ask for your guidance and wisdom when we make those decisions, and we pray that what we do will be the best for all the citizens of this community. Lord, we thank you for all those who are here today. We thank you for the guys from the roads department's going to come and talk to us, and everyone else involved. Just be with them and give them the knowledge that they need to transfer it to us so we'll understand everything that's going on. Father, we just ask you to be with us and be with this county and bless this county, and which we know you can. And it's in Jesus' name we ask this prayer. Amen.
Amen. If you would, join us, salute our flag.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Madam Clerk, if you would, call the roll, please.
Squire Stump.
Here.
Squire Ferris.
Here.
Squire Eldridge.
Here.
Judge Travis.
Here.
Squire Travis.
Here.
Squire Cotton.
Here.
All present.
All right. I'm going to go ahead and jump down to under E. If you look in your books at page 55, I want to welcome Larry Cheney with the road department, and Matt Bullock is here also. Recognize Mr. Hall, please, coming up to the podium. Got that right? Yeah.
Yeah, you got that right. Sorry.
So, good morning, Judge Travis and members of the court. My name is Tom Hall. I'm the planning section supervisor with KYC District 5 office in Louisville, and we serve Spencer County. And I'd like to start with introductions with who we brought from District 5. And of course, Larry Cheney, he puts together this program in our planning section. Matt Bullock is our chief district engineer, and then Scott Smith that does our maintenance supervision in Spencer County. And so the purpose of our visit today is to get concurrence on rural secondary road resurfacing work that we intend to do in the next fiscal year. And we'll give you a report on how we did last year, and I'll talk about that in a minute. But the state maintains 3 different levels of roadway in each county, of our 120 counties in Kentucky. We have state primary roads, which are big old interstates and parkways. We maintain state secondary roads, which is like Kentucky 44 and Kentucky 155. And then we also maintain these roads called rural secondary roads. And those are our farm to market roads, and they kind of link our big network with local roads. And the reason we have this concurrence process in place is because that's such an important link between local access and major access to cities and towns, that it's important to get the concurrence of what the local governments think is the right roads to be resurfacing each year when we do that work. So what I'm going to do is tell you a little bit about what we intended to do last year and the status of that. And then I'll get into how much money is available, where it's going for this year, and then we'll ask for the court's concurrence and take questions. Last year, it was our intention to resurface Kentucky 1795, which is Mill Road, from mile 3.1 to Kentucky 636. And we were also intending to resurface Kentucky 1633, which is Elk Creek Road. There's just a section of that roadway, not the whole road, Those projects were awarded to Louisville Paving back in November of last year. And most of that work should be done, although the contractors do have until the end of the month to get that all squared away. So that's where we're at with last year's resurfacing work. And so that brings us to this year's resurfacing work. And, you know, we talked through this long sheet. I'll try to talk through that if that's in your all's packet. But what I'd like to do is explain how much money we started with, where it all goes. And so we actually had a carryover balance last year of $112,349. That's money that we didn't use from last year, and that carries into this year. And then each county gets an allotment of new money every year, and the allotment for new money for fiscal year 25 to 26 is $1,060,696. And so we bundle that all together, and we have the amount of funds available is $1,173,045. And so the first, we have to take a few items off the top before we can determine how much money we have available to resurface roads. And that first item we take off the top is the routine maintenance of traffic. That's pothole patching, like snow and ice activities. And that's basically funds that our maintenance group uses to pay the people and to maintain our rural secondary roads. And for trivia purposes, we have 70.153 miles of rural secondary roads in Spencer County, and the amount of money per mile is that we spend on those roads for the maintenance is about $7,600 per mile. And so we have to skim off $530,300 off of our allotment to set aside for a rural secondary maintenance. So that leaves us $642,745. Now, the next thing that we take off the top is what's called flex funds. And the counties have an opportunity to use some of this RS money to pave their own local roads. And the amount that Spencer County got this year, or was offered this year, was $159,104. And it's our understanding that Spencer County will use that money to resurface local roads. So we skim that off our state rural secondary paving program, and that leaves us with $483,641. There's another item of judge executive expense that's like $3,000 that judges used to get. That was eliminated with House Bill 241 a few years ago. So that we don't take any money off for that, and the judge doesn't get his expense money. But that leaves us with $482,641. And this is the amount of money that we can look at resurfacing our RS roads with. And so it's our intention to resurface 2 different roadways. Last year I mentioned we resurfaced a section of Kentucky 1633, and it's our intention to kind of go on either end of that, north and south end, and finish out that resurfacing. So we would resurface Kentucky 1633 from Kentucky 44 down to mile point 1.238, but that's where the resurfacing from last year ended. And then we would also do another section at the south end from mile point 3.7 down to Kentucky 55, Kentucky 155. And the cost of that is at 3.62 miles of resurfacing. We believe it would cost us about $336,339. So we take that off of our allotment, and then that leaves us $147,302 to do more work. So an additional road we'd like to resurface is Kentucky 1416. That's Hickory Ridge Road from Ralph Spraggins Road, if I got that right, to Kentucky 1795, the eastern part of the county. So remove, like our estimate, that's 2.26 miles of resurfacing. We estimate that would cost about $154,378. So that leaves us sort of a negative balance of $7,076, but that's close enough Once estimating and everything's done, we'll probably end up in the ballpark where we're using up our full allotment. And we can use a little bit more from next year. Sometimes we don't use as much, but it all kind of carries over over to the following year. So anyhow, we would expect, okay, so that's to recap, there's 2 resurfacing projects, finish up Kentucky 1633, Elk Creek Road at the north and south end, and then do Kentucky 1416, which is Hickory Ridge Road. And we'd expect to let those this fall if we can get concurrence from the county, and that would probably be complete by July 1st of next year. That's pretty much all I have as a presentation, other than we'd ask for the court's concurrence in either a resolution or minutes. And I guess we could take questions if you had any questions.
Okay, any questions for the road guys? Let's keep it on this project for now, if you can. I've actually got a resolution for us to pass, and if we move and pass this, you can take it with you. So that'd be as fast as you can get.
That's fast.
But basically, the projects that Mr. Hall mentioned to us, we're so happy that you got the part of 1633 done. I don't know how many hundreds, I know Dan drives it, how many hundreds or thousands of cars, and there might even be thousands of residents, if you add them all up, that travel that 1633. And finishing Mill Road up this way, it's not as many folks, but that road was terrible also. Now the roads you're proposing, finishing 1633, dire need, the balance out here at 44, I know, because that's heavily traveled. And then the road that you have up toward Mount Eden, that is that the end of the road, Zach, where your folks live? I've heard complaints about that, and it's narrow, not in good shape either. But you've got some bad roads. So it'll just be a resolution of concurrence.
Motion to approve resolution for District 5 Rural Secondary Program recommendations from the state.
Second.
All right, have a motion by Will, second by Zach, to approve the resolution of concurrence with the rural secondary roads that were presented by the KYTC District 5 this morning. Any other discussion on this motion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion passes. Laura, I've got this ready. If you could put your signature on it and give him a copy, then we've got that done. So now we got that done. It's a good time to talk to the road department. Any of you guys have any comments? So,
Question, on 155, we paved the section from Taylorsville to Elk Creek last year. That's fall. I was told that they would get a shoulder, gravel shoulder on that, at least 4 or 5 foot gravel shoulder before they repaved it. Is that in the works?
Yes, it is.
It is?
Yes.
When can we expect that?
Hopefully here in the next month and a half.
Okay, great.
And that base failure there that popped up in front of the post office, we're gonna come back and grab it too.
Yeah. Are you Flynn?
No, I'm Scott.
You're Scott, oh, Scott, okay, gotcha.
So, all right, any other, I have a concern about 155. There's some landowners that have a pretty good chunk of ground, and they're very concerned about losing their land, and but my issue, the only issue that I bring up with that is that when we had the meeting at the high school, I was kind of under the impression that wherever there's a farm entrance currently, that they could keep those farm entrances. And they told me that they were told, I think they had a private meeting with you guys, or had an individual meeting with you guys, that there wasn't going to be, except the major entrances, not going to put smaller entrances to particular fields. And they had a big issue with that. So I don't know how we need to address that, but we need to address that.
Yeah, I was aware that they had a private meeting, and I think that my understanding was that this was still in negotiation as far
Okay.
as
And that's
what
good.
the design may or may not end up looking like, because we're pretty early in the design of that
Okay.
roadway. So I think they'll have to come back together and sort of hash out that. And of course, you know, the cabinet does provide compensation when entrances have to be consolidated and stuff. And it's all done for safety, which is one of the major reasons we're doing that roadway improvement. So I would just say that we're probably still in negotiation there.
Yeah.
And still working it out.
Yeah. And that's perfectly fine. Thank you.
Okay.
On 1633, I've got a couple of residents where they paved it. When they come out of their driveway now, it drags. They said they were gonna go back and level those out. It looks like they did on the gravel driveways. They're real smooth coming out. But the paved driveway, a couple of the paved driveways are got a pretty good bump coming out into the road.
I'll just need to get those addresses. I didn't get a final
I can
text
send
on
them
that
to you.
anyway, but you just send me the final, the addresses and we can take a look at it.
Okay.
Yeah, Scott, on 155 also, there was a few driveways that needed filling in like that too. Is that going to be done when the gravel's put down, or?
Yes.
From my standpoint, I appreciate it so much. I mean, I'll go over Lowe's and buy 8 or 10 bags of that blacktop patch, and I'll stick it down there where I think it ought to be a little better. And I know some of our residents do the same, and then some of the residents, you know, might have a little more of a challenge. So, but anyway, I so much appreciate, and it's, I was out looking at roads this past week, county roads, and I ran across some state roads that y'all had, you know, did some patching and blacktopping. Gray's Run, putting the culverts and things in, those are really helping a lot. So I appreciate all that you do. So,
Yeah, on 55, going to Finchville from Elk Creek, okay, that resurfacing just happened, you know, just seemed like one day they started putting signs up, and nobody really worried about it. I mean, how did that come about? I mean,
I would assume that was just a normal, in our routine paving program. And typically, you know, we'll put out when we let it, and we have a contractor pre-construction meeting. We do put out an advisory on KYCC's webpage that mentions, hey, we're resurfacing and watch out for lane closures and those type of things. But yeah, I guess we, you know, with routine paving, it's not like a major road widening where we would put out a big PR campaign. It's just kind of standard facing.
it's not like what we're talking about here, just standard stuff you're going to do regardless of whether the county says anything about it or not.
Well, the larger resurfacings, like our state secondary and state primary roads, yeah, that's kind of on a statewide program, and it gets done based on need, and it doesn't require a concurrence from the county. It's just the rural secondary program, which is a smaller state road where we have that concurrence process. So you might not hear about it, bigger roads getting resurfaced, other than if you're tuned into our tweets or our webpage or our Facebook, you know, we do pretty good updates as to when those roads, what roads are going to get resurfaced when. And of course, you can always give us a call and we can let you know. But yeah, sorry, could be a bit of a surprise.
But a happy surprise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a difference, big difference. One other statement, I want to thank you all and brag on the local road department folks. You know, all these storms we've been having, and we really this year, I think we have arrived. We have stepped up to the plate in a big way. our sheriff's department, our EMS department, our fire department, with all the storms and the ice storm and the wind damage, and the storms are coming, we got all our chainsaws out, gassed up, and also you guys. Of course, Facebook tells you where the first big tree goes down. We see it on Facebook, but we're all in contact with ourselves and you guys to, help get my road department, the city's road department, and the city's police. We're all on the same page. We've had a busy spring, very busy spring, but nonetheless, I think we all shine. So.
Can I say one more?
Yeah.
I really do appreciate all the work that y'all done on 55, 44, and main road. Y'all do a great job and all that. I'd like to put in one request if I could, and I think I said this last year, but on our rural secondary roads, I would really like to see if you guys could put some more attention toward and maybe allocate some resources to trying to cut these trees back on the sides. I know we talk about patching, we talk about ice and snow removal and stuff, but I think we could do better on pulling them trees back off that roadway. And I just mainly say this because we have a lot of businesses and farmers in this county that operate big equipment, big trucks, and just for instance, just for me, just as an example I can use, like I live on 1060 on Plum Creek Road, and I can't take my $150,000 semi through there without losing the mirrors and antennas and scratches down the side. And if I'm driving a legal height vehicle that's not more than 13'6" tall, then I should be able to make it through there unscathed. And I know there's a lot of people that, a lot of times they're crowding the center line because they don't want to get over to the side because there's trees taking their mirrors off and stuff, and it results in accidents and unsafe driving conditions. And it's mainly on the rural secondary stuff. If maybe you guys could figure out some way in your office to maybe allocate some more resources to the local department here or whatever to try to get those things kind of handled, we sure would appreciate it.
Roll on is something that we always push every county to do.
Well,
At least going through, definitely before we pave a road, and I know we try to get a lot right when school starts and with the buses, and they explain to us a lot. Yes. We share your concern with it's just a matter of getting out there. It takes a lot to.
Well, I know it's not anything that's gonna happen overnight. I know there's a lot of involved in it, but I wanted to bring that up, and if y'all could, anything that y'all could do would be greatly appreciated. Just my 2 cents is like, it's like they go through there and then they just like hang a plumb bob from every branch, and if it just barely touches the edge, and they just like snip it off with a pair of scissors. I mean, cut them things back a couple feet, and then that way you ain't gotta do it every year, and then get your room to grow. That's just my opinion. I don't really know how it works, but I'd sure just, if y'all could figure out something to maybe just put a little bit more attention towards that, sure would appreciate it.
I'd like to thank y'all again for 1633. I know it was a huge concern for all people who have to travel it every day and their vehicle suspensions.
What's left of them?
Anybody else?
I think it's find a way to get some more money. And more money.
Well, we're very well represented here in Spencer County, so thank you guys.
All right.
And you're welcome to stay. Lord, you got one, urge your copy.
All right.
You take it home with you, so you tell them that we can go blacktopping right now.
All right, well, thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you all. Thank you, Matt. Appreciate it. Larry, good seeing
Thank
you
you.
all. Thank you. Again, Bob, if you'd like to come up next, turn to page 80 in your book. Sorry I'm jumping around, but I'm trying to help our folks that are busy.
What page number you said?
80. That's where the soil conservation work starts. So, this is Bob Jones. Good to have you.
Yeah, I'm Bob Jones, Chairman of Spencer County Conservation. And I think in your package you've got the budget, our try to answer any questions you might have. I wanted to go over, just briefly, some of the things we did last year. With our CAPE program, we had 46 approved applicants, last year, and, we financed a total of about 125,000, of these applications, you know, and these are 11 investment areas and so forth. And the CAPE program, I think, has really helped our county quite a bit because with the loss of tobacco income and trying to replace that income, the CAPE program has really helped the cattle industry, as most of you know. We've been able to improve our handling facilities and a lot of other projects. The CAPE program has really helped. And we'll, of course, be running that again this year. And the applications will start July 1. So pass the word for anybody that's interested in the CAPE program that to sign up will be after July 1. And also, there's going to be an information meeting at the Extension Office on June the 6th, June, I got it written down here somewhere, on June the 16th at 6 p.m. And that's going to be out at the Extension Office because they're going to be changing some of the guidelines on the CAPE program. So, you know, if you're planning to participate in that, or if you know guys that are want to participate, have them come to that meeting so they're up to date as far as what those guidelines are. We've still got the program for children. Last year we had 12 applicants, and kids could get up to $550 towards some projects with livestock and some other areas of conservation. Connie Jeffers works very closely with the 4-H with that program. District cost share, last year we had 56 applicants on that. And that's our local program that we finance for fertilizer, farm rock, and a number of other areas. And people could get up to $750 on that program. The urban rebate program, this is for people that don't have a farm number. We're trying to reach some of the people in the suburbs, or in the neighborhoods that have small acreages, trying to help with the conservation program. The backyard conservation, that's open to everybody, and we had 34 applicants last year. Also, if you've been looking for us lately, we've moved. We've sort of got an ejection notice from our landlord, so we had to find a new location. So we're now located on 207 West Main, which is basically the building between the old post office and where Dudley Dale's law office is. So if you're trying to find us, that's where we are now. Also, our rental equipment, we have moved our rental equipment because Wayne Cox, you know, it's no longer has his business, so we moved it to Moore's Lawn out there in Elk Creek. But we still have the same equipment that we had, and he's going to be helping us with the service and everything. Let's see, the district cost share, The sign-up period for that is going to be June the 2nd to June the 13th. So if you know of anybody that wants to sign up for our district cost share, that's the sign-up period. Soil samples, we've been notified that rather than having to pay $6 for each soil sample, we're going to have to pay $8 this year. But we plan to continue that program, and we will fully fund that. We've set that in our budget and so forth, so all the farmers will be covered as far as on the soil sample. And then the last thing, I just want to give you a check for our contribution to the dead animal program, which I think is
Thank you, Mr. Jones.
good program. And, I know as a cattleman, I appreciate that program. I hate to lose one, but when you lose one, it's nice to be able to call and make sure you're not having to deal with it, and also that we're not polluting our streams or anything. If anybody's got any questions, I'll try to answer. If not, I'll try to find an answer for you.
Can someone take a picture of Mr. Jones and myself? Want to get this donation recognized for the dead animal removal.
One, two, three.
All right. Thanks again, Bob.
Okay, thank you.
Right on, Mr. Treasurer. Anyone have any questions for Bob?
Thank you much.
Yeah, I just, you know, it's worth a whole lot, and the agriculture community and individual homeowners can utilize the services that the soil conservation offers. Again, they're on Main Street in one of the old board buildings, a white building, got a new paint job, a nice big sign out front. But there's several programs, and he mentioned the amounts of money. The CAPE program is the tobacco settlement money, and then you have the district cost share. I guess that's a federal, is that a federal program or state program?
That's just local.
That's just, the district cost share is what local does.
Yeah.
Very, very good use of our taxpayers' money, and they have the equipment, and again, it's at Moore's. It's not at Wayne's Farm Machinery, because that's closed, it's right next door at Moore's. And the soil sampling program, even homeowners, if you want to sample your lawn, any Spencer County resident, they'll take care of you. So we're very, very happy to work with you guys, and thank you for the dead animal donation. We provide that to the farmers in the community, like you said, and that covers a portion of it. We pay, I forgot how much it is usually does, but anyway, that covers a portion of it, and we're happy to get that. So anyone have any other questions for Mr. Jones? All right. You're welcome to stay, or you're welcome to go work on your hay.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. All right. Now we'll kind of get back to our somewhat normal meeting.
Approval of minutes.
Yeah, first on the agenda is approval of minutes for 5/19, and then for the hearing, and then also fiscal court minutes, which we have a post-executive session also. I didn't see anything that I wanted to change at all. I don't know if anyone else found anything or not.
Motion approved.
All right.
Second.
We have a motion by Mike, second by Dan, to approve the CRA hearing minutes of 5/19 and the fiscal court meeting minutes of 5/19 and the post-executive session minutes with no changes. Any discussion? All right, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion passes. All right, next we have communications from citizens. Anyone in the audience would like to address the court? Any particular matter? Yeah, come ahead. If you would, just state your name and so forth, and tell us what's on your mind.
Yeah, thank you. My name is Dave Jolly, affectionately referred to as Dumpster Dave. I'm one of the owners of a local family-owned hauling company called Green River Waste. My brother-in-law, father-in-law, and me own the business, and we haul trash. You may have caught wind that we're the primary hauler for Mount Washington, Kentucky now, so we took the whole city over last summer. It's been going great, according to us. Mount Washington licensed too. They've loved the communication that we've had with them. When they want to talk to us about roads and pickups, we're just a phone call away. We love to answer our phones and talk trash. They love that we've saved the city money by coming in with a competitive bid. And it's just good for the government when there's more businesses that are willing to put competitive bids out there. So I know y'all's is several months away, probably maybe even a couple years. But I just wanted to pop in. I'll be popping in periodically leading up to that. Next week I will be in Lexington with a booth. And I'll be available to talk to you guys then. I'd love for you to stop by if you're going to be doing any magistrate judge training in Lexington. So we'd love to talk more about the county's contract and the city's contract. I know that they kind of go together. And at a bare minimum, just to be another hat in the ring to provide competitive business opportunities to increase the overall value of your trash spend in the county. So.
What was this guy at lunch?
That's what I was about to say.
Was last year when you bid your county
Well,
contract?
we're starting our second year.
5-year contract?
3.
3, okay.
We did a 3, so we're starting our second.
That's now the perfect time to get to know each other. I mean,
yeah. So does your outfit, do you all have the, I know if you're doing the city of Mount Washington, I mean, the city of Mount Washington probably has as many residents as the whole county of Spencer, if not more.
We provide a custom approach to whatever you guys need. So the 3 main areas that we work in, Mount Washington is rear load, so that's a driver with a tipper on the back of the truck. We also do the city of Radcliffe with Mayor J.J. Duval. We're an exclusive contractor there beginning of this year. We do all that with the ASL, the one-armed bandit, where it's got a spaceship going down the street and it's grabbing 1 can at a time. Those trucks are fantastic. They're awesome. We do City of Radcliffe with 3 of those. And then down in Butler County, Kentucky, which is where our company started, hence the Green River Waste name, we do a rear load with a driver and a tipper. So.
Now, we have 8,500-ish residents in individual homes, and then we have something shy of 300 commercial tax parcels.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you'd be looking at that many, 9,000 or 10,000 stops.
We, the city of Radcliffe is a little bit like that. Radcliffe has a few more commercial, but that's very much, the system that we use would be really great for this county. We know how to get the cans out, we know how to get things rocking and rolling, and we're just hardworking folks. I mean,
We'll be in the market.
yeah, come by our booth. My brother-in-law and I'll be there. He may or may not be there. I will definitely be there next week. I'd love to meet you guys.
Full offer to roll-offs and everything.
Yes, that's correct. Yeah. We do roll-off boxes, commercial front load, rear load, the whole 9 yards.
Yeah, I'm aiming to go, so I'll try to remember to stop by.
Yeah, absolutely. Y'all take care.
All right, thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, anyone else? Anyone else? All right. So, all right, we'll close that portion, and then we're going to go on to under E, which we've already done 1. Number 2, we're going to have a special call meeting on June the 10th at 9 a.m. to look at the, which we're going to open these bids today, and then basically just to get an idea of where we are. But at that meeting, we'll be discussing the farmer's market And then also we'll do the second reading of our budget at that time. So that'll be coming up on June 10th at 9 a.m. So if y'all would put that on the calendar. Okay, next we have communications from Julie Sleazy. Now I have, she has, we're doing the boutique wine stuff today, second reading. And if I make copies, I need 3 going that way. These are just suggested changes, kind of like we did last time, that just for us to consider. I made a boo-boo, but they didn't front and back it, so pass it back. I should have given you 6 copies instead of 3 copies.
While you're sorting, I'll just kind of get it
Yeah,
started.
go ahead.
And we'll kind of
Take my bad.
somewhat lump them together, but then we'll need separate motions at the end. So this is, proposed ordinance number 21, proposed ordinance number 22, and proposed ordinance 23. Each ordinance reads the same. Ordinance 21 is pertaining to micro boutique wineries in a B1 neighborhood commercial district. Proposed ordinance 22 is for micro boutique winery in a B2 general commercial district. And proposed ordinance 23 is for micro boutique winery in a B3 heavy commercial district. So all of these are for boutique micro winery in commercial districts. They're coming to you by recommendation of a motion made by Commissioner Mudd. She's recommending the proposed text amendment of the Douglas Central County Joint Planning and Zoning Regulations of Article 6, Section 601, 602, 603 pertaining to micro boutique winery in a B1, B2, B3 commercial zoning district to the City Commission and the Fiscal Court. That motion is second by Commissioner Deaton. After a roll call vote, motion carried.
All right, are you starting with number 21?
If the
All right.
will start, I don't know if your proposed changes go through all 3.
They do, and they're identical. So this is not gonna be too big of a,
Okay,
hard to understand.
gotcha.
I've got 22, 22, and 23.
Okay, look at page, if you wanna look on your packet, page 69. Page 69 and 70 is the first one. And basically, I was just going to suggest, if y'all remember what we did on the other ones, we took the commercial, or not the commercial, the conditional. We took the conditional use. Julie, I can give you one right here.
Okay.
And they're all identical, so it don't matter which one I give you.
Okay.
But basically, I tried to correct it as we did on the others. Look on page 69 at the top, take out the word conditional at the very top. And then you go down under Article 6, Section 601. I struck out the first line because it says conditions may be imposed. We're not going to be putting conditions because we're not requiring a conditional use permit. The 4th line down in the center, it says the intent of this conditional use. I struck out the word conditional. So it'll read the intent of this use is to allow the boutique, and it goes on. Then where it says 10,000 cases annually, I struck out the next entire sentence because it says prior to the approval of conditional use permit, the Board of Adjustments must consider the impact of the proposed use surrounding properties and ensure that the character of the area is protected. Okay, again, to me, it's easy to strike that out because you already have land that is B1. It's already B1. And then even in the next one, see, it's B2. And then in the third one, it is it I? Or what is it?
B3.
B3. So, yeah, this is basically for B1, B2, B3. So you're already going to be in business, which will be businesses compared to what? Gas stations, strip malls,
It's pretty much any commercial use.
Right, you'll have, if you're already in commercial uses. So, but I struck out the sentence prior to the approval all the way to the end. And then it says, any conditional use permit issued, I struck out conditional use permit issued and put any use here under must meet the mandatory requirements set out in KRS 100. Then you turn to the next page, on page 70. Number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4 are all fine. Number 5, where it says the owner must comply with fire safety, environmental, and health standards such as installing sprinklers, I just added the words as required because there's a potential that this building won't require sprinklers. So, and then under A, where it says no processing waste can go into a septic system, I struck out processing and just put unapproved. So like if the health department says whatever they're doing is fine to go in a septic tank, why should it bother us? And then I struck out all of number 8, where it says Board of Adjustments may impose conditions about their hours, operation, screening, and buffering, because I didn't feel that was necessary at all, because you're already in B1, B2, and B3. Those are changes that I suggest on this one, and the exact same changes on the next 2. So, if anyone has any comments about any of that, did all that make sense?
Yeah. Motion to approve all 3 of these ordinances with the revisions and changes.
Second.
All right, we have a motion by Jim, seconded by Mike, to approve the 3 ordinances, B1, B2, and B3, with the changes that were mentioned. Any discussion?
Do we need to do them separately?
I would like to do them separately. Can I make a suggestion?
Yes.
So on your first part, where you work, the intent of this conditional use is to take conditional out.
Yes.
Can we just take out the of this
Well-
use period and then say the intent is to allow?
Sure, sure,
Okay.
sure, that's fine. The intent
Yeah,
is
so we're
to
gonna take
allow.
Of this conditional use, just take all that.
Yes.
If you can do it that way, that way it just says the
It-
intent is to allow.
Is the motion or good? It just, or is the motion good with this change?
You want, yeah, I'll just rescind my motion. If you send her a second, I'll make a motion, we approve, the first one, number 23, 21, with the changes.
Second.
All right, have a motion by Jim, seconded by Mike, to approve ordinance number 21 with the changes that were mentioned. Any other discussion? We'll just put Laura that Will didn't vote, I guess.
Hang on.
I know he's tied into something.
He is.
And this busy time of year, we get it.
Come in here and play game real quick.
That's great.
He may say nay, I don't know.
I approve the changes.
All right. Okay, so we're getting ready to vote. So, basically, it's the changes that was presented, with striking of another word in this, on this first page, word or 2. So, and we're only voting on ordinance number 21. So, all right, all those in favor of ordinance 21, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? All right, motion passes. All right, now, go ahead, Julie, we'll do next ordinance.
I've read them in, so this is just proposed ordinance number 22. So this is in the B2 General Commercial District.
Motion to approve with the recommended changes.
Second.
All right, we have a motion by Zach, seconded by Jim, to approve ordinance 22 with the recommended changes. Any discussion? All right, hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion passes. All right, Julie?
Proposed ordinance 23, and this is for B3 Heavy Commercial District.
Motion to approve with the recommended changes.
All right.
Second.
All right, we have a motion by Zach, seconded by Dan, to approve ordinance number 23 with the recommended changes. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion passes. So those are now done, those were our second readings. All right, now, go ahead.
All right. Next, we have the application of Linda Denzik for Jason King requesting Ag 2 agricultural to B3 commercial on 5.066 acres located in the 4200 block of Taylorsville Road, which is Highway 55 North. Commissioner Wheatley made a motion to recommend to rezone the application of Linda Denzik for Jason King requesting zone change from Ag 2 agricultural to B3 commercial on 5.066 acres located in the 4200 block of Taylorsville Road, Highway 55 North. The recommended land use map in the comprehensive plan recommends mixed use to medium density residential. The change would be in compliance with the comprehensive plan, and they were adding a binding element that proposed low impact electrical contractor space. And if it's going to be anything different, they will have to come back. Commissioner Green will second that motion. After a roll call vote, motion carried.
All right, now that was not a first reading, right?
No,
That
that's
was
a second
second reading.
There was a meeting in between because I couldn't hit the newspaper right.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, other than they misspelled my name.
I did that.
Here,
I'm
here,
sorry.
here they are. Here they are. There we go.
So, not approved.
Oh, it's terrible.
I recommend the approval based on the facts and finding of the, planning and zoning.
Second. All right, we have a motion by Dan, second by Zach, to approve the zoning change, that was just mentioned, based on facts and findings of planning and zoning. Any discussion?
That includes the binding element.
All right. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion passes. Okay, do it.
Okay, next we have the application of Christopher David Redmond and Little Mount Baptist Church requesting I-1 agricultural to R1 residential on 0.388 acres located at 6041 Little Mount Road, Highway 44. Commissioner Greenwell made the motion to recommend to rezone the application of Christopher David Redmond and Little Mount Baptist Church requesting zone change from I-1 agricultural to R1 residential on 0.388 acres located at 6041 Little Mount Road, Highway 44. The recommended land use map in the comprehensive plan recommends mixed use, and the change would be in compliance with the comprehensive plan. Commissioner Austin seconded that motion. After a roll call vote, motion carried.
Motion to approve the zoning change based on the facts and findings of planning and zoning.
Second. All right, we have a motion by Will, second by Zach, to approve the zoning change that was just mentioned based on the facts and findings of planning and zoning. Any discussion?
What are they doing there?
Actually, he's adding additional land. I don't know if you see the survey that I should have combined it. It's just a small, yeah, it's a small frame house, and he's buying a little more property to add to the lot.
All right, any other discussion? All right, hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion passes. All right, do that. I know you got one more item.
I have a first reading here, and that's the application of Barry King requesting R1 residential to Ag 2 agricultural on .998 acres and Ag 1 agricultural to Ag 2 agricultural on 7.08 plus or minus acres at 857 Woodland Hills Drive. Commissioner Greenwell made a motion to recommend to rezone the application of Barry King requesting R1 residential to Ag 2 agricultural on .998 acres and Ag 1 agricultural to Ag 2 agricultural on 7.08 plus or minus acres located at 857 Woodland Hills Drive. The recommended land use in the comprehensive plan recommends low to medium density residential. The change would be in compliance with the comprehensive plan, and there was no one there to speak against it. Commissioner Mudd seconded that motion. After a roll call vote, motion carried.
All right, and that's the first reading. Yep. All right, so we'll take that up at our next meeting.
Be the 200 block point for the trial business.
Who's that?
Very cool.
Really?
He's an interesting man.
And he played at Woodstock, Virginia.
I also sent over, I don't know if they put it in your all's packet or not, but I included a memo. You know, each year we're required to send all Board of Adjustment members, planning commissioners and staff to get training. And so I sent a memo over. I've got a gentleman that's willing to come here and do the training for me. Be a whole lot cheaper to pay him to do the presentations. We get 4 hours. I am making a request, talk to Dave at the Teacup to see if I could get box meals for everybody. We typically get those when we go to training as well. So I think all in all, compared to what it would cost in registration fees and mileage, I think, this would be a good idea. I've done them before, it's just been a few years, so.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All right, have a motion by Jim, second by Zach, to approve, the planning and zoning to do training in-house,
For $300.
and food. Yeah.
Well, whatever, for $100.
Yeah, to do the training in-house, with, under $400 cost. Y'all good with that? Under four, it should be under 400.
I don't know that it would be, if you
Good,
do
I got,
roughly 17 or 18 people at $10 per.
Oh, you're gonna have 17 or 18 people?
That's it, I'm gonna get them all if I can.
Okay, all right.
$1,000.
Just bring $1,000.
You wanna add not to exceed 1,000?
Not to exceed $1,000 in the motion.
All right, yeah, it'll be good shape. All right, and the seconder agrees to, who seconded it? I'm sorry.
It's you making me, I agree.
Exactly.
All right, we got you confused, Laura?
Can we have
Are you
anybody
good?
else
I got it.
besides
Okay,
your crew and everything?
to get training hours?
As far as I know, I mean, check and make sure that you should qualify.
Because I've gone
Because
to
if
the
you,
training.
if you go to
with
Keiko or
before.
KIP, any of those, you all get hours. So yeah, just let me know, pretty soon if you want to. And
What's the dates on that?
it's June the 10th. Be 4 hours. It's from 5:30 to 9:30 at night.
Here.
Be a good, easy way to get 4 hours.
If you
All right.
want to come, you're more than
I don't
welcome.
need them, but I'd like to come just listen.
Yeah.
The gentleman doing the presenting used to be the planning administrator in Mercer County. I think, is it Lamar? I think it's Mercer County, but anyway, he is now Nelson County.
He, David Pike?
No.
No.
Uh,
Okay.
All right, so we, are all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion passes. All right, you good, Laura? All right, we're good. Thank you, Julie. All right, I'm running through the book. We get right on past the, soil conservation stuff.
You may want to mention that, baseball team.
Yeah, I didn't mention it early on, but, I know you all have seen where that our baseball team, our 8th region champs, they'll be playing, I believe, Friday at Lexington. Does that sound right?
Yeah, they're playing this Friday.
And, yep, in the state tournament, they're down to 16 teams. And want to just invite the community. We want to, first of all, tell the coaches, parents, and players that we're very proud of you and wish you the best of luck this Friday. The whole community is behind you. So if you guys, I know you probably saw on Facebook where they all came home with the big parade and escorts and anyhow, if you wanna live in a good hometown America, this is the best place right here. So thank you all for that. Thanks for reminding me on that, Doug.
I think the next thing we're going to do is the kids, isn't it?
Yes. All right, well, I got, under old business, there wasn't anything on there, but I'm gonna put something. Last meeting, we voted the blacktop there around the buildings, and we didn't vote to blacktop Spears Drive. So the next day, I told the mayor, I said, if y'all wanna get Spears Drive blacktop, y'all need to get an agreement and talk to Mago while they're here, maybe they can do it for you. Well, they got that done, so I'm happy that they got that done, and they're paying for it. So then the discussion turned into, what about the streets behind U of L and in front of McDonald's and in front of Dairy Queen, all of that. Well, just out of the blue, someone on Facebook took a picture of the streets there behind U of L, and it looks like an obstacle course, as you all know if you've driven through there. And actually, I had mentioned to the mayor, we had talked about that before that even came out. And we kind of agreed that we want to put a meeting together with all the landowners that has property in there to try to figure out a way to get these streets taken care of. Now, there's been discussion over the years that everyone that has property there owns the streets front and back. Of course, the city has done repairs on the street, I guess directly behind Dairy Queen in the past. So the discussion is, well, first of all, it's no secret that those streets need to be fixed. What we've had going on has not worked, and we need to do better. So I'd like us to go in the path of figuring out a way for us all to do better. Now, I am not suggesting that we spend any money to blacktop those streets. We need to know who actually owns the streets, who actually is supposed to do what. That all needs to be spelled out in to me, in a title opinion from legal, somehow. And I'm going to suggest to the mayor to do the same thing that we're talking about with the city commissioners, for them to, we all need to be on the same page and figure out a way. What we've been doing in the past is not working, so we need to go from this point forward and get it where it's fixed from here on out. So whatever that looks like, we will determine that, but we absolutely cannot keep what we've got. If you pull up in front of Papa John's at the stop sign, you gotta hold over to the left to stay out of them big chug holes. And just as soon as you pull over, somebody's trying to turn in, well, then you're in the way. And I pulled up there the other day, and Mr. Willis up here, I met him, and I had to turn and pull up, and he was laughing at me. And but nonetheless, we've got to get these lined out. We've got an opportunity here. And someone put on Facebook, and I made the comment that the mayor and I had already been talking about having a meeting, and I guess 2 days ago, 102 people had even liked the reply to a post. So it's definitely important to people, and we are to take, at least be at the table and take some efforts, and I'm planning to do that unless anyone objects.
Scott, at the last city meeting, apparently that road belongs to the property owner who owns all those buildings that the businesses are in. So he has agreed to fix it. He can't do it right away, so they're gonna put those big metal slabs down over those great big huge holes in the meantime. So hopefully soon it'll be in the works.
I'm happy that Mago was out there, because the mayor and Mago, of course, were there talking. And I keep saying the mayor, Karen had talked to the Mago guys. And, she was telling me that they had talked, and I thought, well, that's wonderful. But, at the end of the day, we got an opportunity to get these fixed, and I think it'll be time well spent. But again, not gonna spend no money. Not gonna spend no money until we decide to spend money. So, that's where we are on that. And I feel like everyone would agree that that's an effort worth pursuing.
Well, people been dodging them potholes for 20 years.
Right, 40.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
So anyway, that's, and while we're on that subject, this week, I'm planning to get that topsoil taken out. Todd had an outfit come by about putting down lime stabilization in that road versus putting fabric. I don't know anything about lime stabilization. You contractor fellas may know some about it, but some guy was gonna give us a price on getting that done, but we're gonna haul that out and we'll put it behind the animal shelter, all the topsoil, to where we can cover up some of that rock and get some grass planted. Should dry up enough this week. Now, they are busy down on they've been busy. They're mowing. Zach, they did a whole lot better mowing on the bush hog mower. The John Deere mower, I took one of them stops out and let it go a little deeper, go a little closer. And, but anyhow, they're out getting the roads mowed. They've got silo farms, this blacktop. We've got this job out here done, and they're driving the steel down at Murray Road. We still don't have that in the FEMA project, but we're gonna try to get one of those, I forget all the abbreviations. I know Emma and us have been working on them, but to try to get that qualified under a state program where they pay for disasters if FEMA can't pay for it. Because we've already voted to spend 50, 60 grand on that road.
Are we gonna touch the deal with that four-wheeler in this meeting, or we gonna wait?
On the other?
Yeah.
Well, I'll go ahead and bring it up. We had we have talked about, I know Zach and I went and looked at roads in 23, I reckon. We've got a few roads, I know Zach has two, Edmondson Road and Netherton Road is on the other side of the hill. And we don't really have an issue, well, it's still a county road, but to close a county road, you've got a process you've got to go through, and then it's KRS 178, I believe, talks about closing county roads and what you have to go through. But nonetheless, this Edmondson Road is a road right alongside a creek.
In a creek, but.
In a creek bed. In a creek bed, basically. But, so it gets out of shape. You all know that everything this year is out of shape because of all the rain we've had. So it's out of shape, and then it actually lays on a fellow's property. And there's two landowners. One of them touches at the front, and of course touches at the back. But between the front and the back, this other landowner owns both sides of the road. But the individual in the back wanted to get the road fixed because it goes to their property. So we went over there trying to do some minimal repairs on it. So the guy that owns where the road is was concerned about, spending taxpayer money on a road that only serves one person. And then the discussion got into, and I know they came and at least talked to Ford and Carroll some, getting some ideas of this and that, and I shared the KRS with them. But nonetheless, we've got a process, the state has a process for us to follow if we were to choose to close a road. And there's going to be pros and cons, and we will be working on that as the future continues going forward. So, anything else to add to that? We kind of summed it up.
I know with the previous quarter, I think it was when we came in, that was a FEMA project then.
Yes.
I think it was ungodly, like 850 ton of rock.
Yeah, it was like 70, 80 grand or something.
Oh, it was terrible. It was, 30 tracks of loads they dumped in there, and then when the creek gets up, it just washes it back out. It's useless.
Now, what we were doing over the other day, they, of course, there's a ditch along one side that's all full of gravel. And we took some material over there, but they were digging this gravel, and that is pretty good gravel. And I suggested that, and Colby was digging, our road guy, one of the road guys. And I said, Colby, we ought to just put this on the road as gravel, what they're cleaning out of the ditch. He done had all that planned out. So anyhow, I think they got done that day and left. But nonetheless, it is a county road in our county road system, so we have obligations. But then at the same time, we have to watch. There's two good arguments for this, and we'll have to balance that out. That's all I have, I guess, on that city streets. Any other comments on anything to do with just?
On the creek side, you heard what
Yeah.
outcome of that was, that we own all the 0.4 of a mile.
Well, and that goes into another discussion. The Creekside Drive is out here kind of behind the post office. You turn in Ray Road, and it's to the left. But it's a city street. It's a city street up to that 4/10.
Yeah.
It's not a county road. And the end of it is in bad shape. But again, that's a city street. Well, I took the mayor, took Karen, we went up Mill Hill and Hill Street. See, that starts out city and then it changes to county. Now, every resident that's up there is on sewers, but it's in the county. There's a manhole right in the middle of the street. And when I say that, that ain't exactly correct. I don't know that for a fact. I do know for a fact there's a house up in the curve, I believe on Hill Street, that they're aiming to put on the market. And the owner said he has sewers. So at least there's sewers to part of it, and it's still in the county. But it would be good if we could get some resolve. I mean, to me, the city should annex that and take care of it, but even Greenwich uses one of those streets. And just as soon as we get our boom mower and things, I mean, we need to work on the limbs, because I hate to drive a gas truck through there and scratch it up on them limbs. And then there's some holes in our part of the street we need to get fixed. But that again is part of that same subject.
Yeah, there's
With the city.
like old roads that are like that, where if there's a business on it, that part's in the city. Other than that, the rest of it's.
Yeah. But I'm confident that when we get to the end of whenever time for any of us, that we will have some resolve on some or all of these. So, all right. I'm gonna, at this moment, I have these bids. They came in. I know Emma and I was there Friday when they all come in, and one fella come in at 2 p.m. and he showed me. I thought he was late, and he said, "It's 2 o'clock, see?" And so he made it. But what I plan to do today, is, unless someone objects, is I'll just, we'll open them up one at a time and read off the bid. This is GMS Construction, bid number 1, turnkey for the entire project, $2.836 million. Turnkey for the front building, $2.224. And then wreck both buildings, roof only, $1.273. That's the first one. And again, we'll dig deep into these at that meeting on the 10th. I think it was 10th. That's the same as the training that night. All right. In no particular order, just the second one I grabbed. Prodigy. It's not that. It's not that.
You'll make it quick while you go.
Well, surely I ain't got so many more pages I can hit. These are references. All right, I'm gonna give this to Will. You find a bid in that, please. Don't read it, but just find it. All right, here's the next one. This one is WPC Company Inc. Envelope in envelope. All right, he's got turnkey for everything, 2.903. Turnkey for the front building, 2.3, looks like 7.3. I'm not writing any of those down. I don't know if y'all are writing any of them down.
I was
Make a
writing down,
comparison.
I was just writing down the turnkey prices. for
Okay.
everything.
You left the page with
Oh, I left the most important page in there.
this is the prodigy.
Yeah, okay, well, here's the problem. All right, turnkey, this is Prodigy Turnkey, the entire project, 3.7. Bid number 2, turnkey for front building, 3.080. And then, rate both buildings roof only, 1.6. And, this did not include the kitchen equipment and appliances. Thank you. That's what I was short with one page. All right. Okay, here we go. This is Triumph Project Services. Turnkey, 3.933, 691 and 68 cents. Turnkey bid number 2 for the front building, 3.194, 928 80 cents. And then the rate both buildings roof only, 1.163, 622 and 20 cents. All right. 2 more bid. This is Marion, M-A-R-I-A-N, Marion Construction. Turnkey entire project, bid 1, 5.241254. Turnkey for the front building, 4.510616. The rate both buildings roof only, 2.633161. All right, last one,
That's what the same name.
Martin.
Oh, I thought it was the
Oh, it's close. All right, turnkey entire project, 4.5 even. Turnkey for front building, 2.5, be 2.5 million. And then the rate both buildings roof only is 2 million. So those are our 6 bids, and we will,
What's the bids again, Mike? GMS is 2.8, Prodigy is 3.7, WPC is 2.9, Triumph is 3.9, Marion is 5.2, and Martin is 4.5. That's turnkey prices for the totality.
so which one was the lowest?
Lowest was GMS at 2.8, and the highest was Marion at 5.24.
That was on turnkey for both buildings.
Yes.
Okay. All right. What did you write down and
I've
thank
got
you.
it all.
What was the turnkey on just the front building?
On the front
Lowest.
building, the lowest. GMS, 2.224.
There wasn't a 1 something on the
There's a
turn.
1 on the
Roof
roof
only.
only.
On
That's
roof only.
Triumph, 1.163.
Okay. All right, well, those are our bids, and we will be discussing those on the 10th at our special call meeting.
There's a book for that project, too, and got no information.
All right, I'll stick it in there.
Are we gonna, for the building committee, anything, go over these prior to that meeting?
They can, the building committee, if they would like, no problem.
Just hash through them and
Yeah,
see what each did,
you kind of chair the building committee, don't you?
run down.
All right. Well, we'll discuss after the meeting. I'll take these back over to the office, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, we won't take them home with us, we need to get in the office or your office when we do that, so.
Yeah, keep it all uniform.
Yep.
All right. Laura, here is a couple of minutes that I'll pass to you that I signed.
Thank you.
And if you have any that I haven't signed, just let me know and I'll sign them for you. All right. Okay, next on the agenda, under new business, the bid results from the road materials. We got 2 bids for rock and 1 bid for blacktop.
Did we not get any bid for the tree trimmers?
For what?
This is all we got. And basically, Hayden Materials was cheaper on a couple things, and quality was cheapest on the 4 things. Channel lining 2 was $19.50 versus $22, which that's pretty big from Hayden to quality. And then number 57 stone was $17 at quality and $16.75 at Hayden. So it looks like the channel lining is cheaper at Hayden, and then everything else is.
Can we not just approve both of them and then?
That's what we talked about last year.
That's what we did last year.
I don't know if we did it or not, we talked about it, but I think that's.
I make a motion to approve both.
I'll second that.
All right, we have a motion by Mike, seconded by Will, to approve both bids from Hayden and Quality. Any discussion? I'll add to that I know they've done this in the past, and then they've, I think, been told that you can't do it. But I do know that there is differences, depending on where the rock is going. Of course, this bid is based, go ahead.
Fairground, and the haul from quality is cheaper than it is to Hayden.
Right, 17 cents a ton. But what happens is, sometimes we need, like when we did some work down there at Gray Jewel 2.0, we'll need rock, and one place can't get it to you. You need it that day, but the other place can. So, but we have a motion on the floor to approve using materials at both places. Any other discussion?
We got them both there. It's responsibility of the road department foreman to make sure he's spending as money as wisely as he can.
All right, well, I'm fine going with that. So any other discussion? All right, hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion passes. All right, we got 1 bid on the blacktopping from Mago, and it's a little more than last year, but they cut it back some last year. So it's actually about where it was a couple years ago. We don't have the language that if they don't do it when we say. Of course, that was in the first year, and last year we didn't have an issue with that at all. But I mean, I'd recommend we go ahead and accept these bids.
Motion to approve Mayo's asphalt bid.
Second.
All right, we have a motion by Will, seconded by Mike, to approve Mago's asphalt bids, which is $85 laid for base and $90 laid for surface. And then, of course, picked up, the prices are here. Any discussion?
You know, I think last year we talked about scraping the grass off the edges of the road.
Yes.
Is that in the contract? We
Yes.
did, I think.
Yeah, we did.
Make sure we put that same language in this one.
Well, I'm very confident we can hold them to that. I mean, this is how we, bid it out. So, but yeah, that's my expectation of Todd when that goes on. And Todd's probably listening, so, he knows to get the grass scraped off. All right, have a motion on the floor for Mago. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion passes. All right, we have our budget amendment, page 95, 96, 97. Basically, this is not the budget, this is budget amendment, where we had additional revenue that was added. So this, we've sent it to DLG, they approved it there on May the 7th. So this will be, where we have second reading and final approval on the budget amendment.
Motion to approve.
Second. Have a motion by Zach, second by Jim, to approve a budget amendment, number 2 for second reading. Any discussion? All right, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion passes. All right, next we have the street legal special purpose vehicle. You all are aware that the Kentucky the legislature passed Senate Bill 63. If you'd like to look it up, you can look up Senate Bill 63, and it talks about driving these dudes on the roads. Everybody see those? Now, they have to have everything on them like a car. You have to have them insured, you gotta get a plate, the sheriff has to inspect them, has to pay a fee that's established by the statute. One or more headlamps, one or more tail lamps, one or more brake lamps, trail lamp. Yeah, you can come up, Andrew, if you'd like.
This is stuff we've been sent to.
Okay, yeah. You gotta have, the tires gotta have so much tread. You gotta have a seatbelt assembly that conforms, a roll bar or roll cage, a speedometer illuminated at night, windshield, unless the vehicle has eye protection, rear view mirrors, a working muffler, a horn or other warning device, a braking system other than a parking brake, amber, red, electric turn signals, amber, electric turn signal, one on each side of the front and on the rear. One more red reflectors on the rear of the vehicle. So, y'all can see what Andrew handed out. That's basically the new KRS.
And it's got the inspection form there too.
And the amount of money that they will collect.
25, they come, 25 inspection here, and then an additional 20, I think, we have to travel to their residence to do it, so anywhere from 25.
And they'll have to get a plate, I guess the clerk's office
Yeah,
will
the
issue
clerk's
plates.
office will plate.
All right, there'll be a fee for that. Now, they also, to get the plate, they have to have, was I right on the insurance?
Have insurance, everything just like a car.
Just like a car.
That's basically what it is, you're just making the vehicle, street legal vehicle, basically.
All right. So basically, we have, the fiscal court has to opt in or opt out. And we gotta do that, this takes effect on June 27th, so we pretty well need to get her done, if we want to opt in.
Motion to opt in.
Second.
All right, have a motion by Will, second by Zach, to opt in to the special purpose vehicle, that's passed with Senate Bill 63. If I can follow the rules that's provided. That's what you want to say, right? Okay, that is, yeah, that's what it said. All right, any other discussion?
So this is not pertaining to we're not voting on the ordinance, it's got a lot of blanks. We're voting on whether or not we should accept this.
Yeah, we're opted in. It said local governments are considering whether to opt in. So this is what the KCO sent me out. I got it in orange. We got it decided to opt in. So, all right, any other discussion?
I'll give my 2 cents worth. I think it's a good idea for a lot of people, but I'm afraid it's going to be a safety issue. Somebody's going to get killed by doing it. I mean, it's just the way it's going to happen.
Done in a lot of states already, but other than
Well,
you get on the car,
I mean, I agree with Jim. I mean, I don't really agree with the state doing it just because it's for somebody gonna get run over, but they want to do it. The thing is, they're gonna go down the road all the time down my house anyways, and it's 100% illegal. So what this matter, if it really doesn't, we might as well just collect some revenue off of it.
well, maybe people be a little more safe, they'll actually have
Well,
signals, but actually,
Yeah, I mean,
maybe.
it ain't gonna help, ain't gonna hurt.
Well, after Andrew, there's definitely start dishing out those tickets for not having license plates and things.
Well, the thing is,
Yeah,
it's
we
like,
can hang on.
it's like you got people like, running down like your road or Scott's road, or, and that's one thing, but then you'll find some people that all of a sudden they say, well, let's get them side by side, let's go to J-Town, And they
Well,
will.
it's like 1633, I mean, they run up and down 1633 every now and then, and that's a very busy road. But I don't, they can run around the neighborhoods, I mean, 10-year-old kids on golf carts drive around the neighborhoods all the time, so this is only like gators and stuff, it's not golf carts.
Well,
Side by side, they have to be 40 miles and up, like they,
Okay, they have
40 miles per hour and up.
Okay.
so I guess.
Or 25, I'm sorry, it's 25 miles.
Well, 25,
You got a golf cart that goes 20.
They can't go any
That's
further.
pretty good.
They call it, yeah.
They can't go any further than 20 miles on a highway that has a center line. So,
oh, okay, well, that keeps it
No,
going
we
to
can-
J-Town.
we
Well, you
can-
could probably
No,
go
you
to
go to
J-Town.
Where this reads in here, we can change that too.
you can limit it, restrict it however you all want to, as far as distance.
Yeah, as far as the
Okay.
restricting thing, it's, in the ordinance, you can restrict several different things.
So, I mean, I'm guessing that we're doing this properly enough, but saying we're opting in to follow the current regs. I mean, is that your opinion, Cheryl?
Yes, and if you choose to pass the ordinance or do a first reading on it, and a second reading, it may change in whole or in part by what the transportation cabinet does with the regulation, and that's not doing it in 627. So
Okay.
you can do a first reading and a second reading and pass this, but you just need to be aware that when you do, it may change in whole or in part based on what the reg does, because it may be invalidated by the reg. Does that make sense?
We're alternate to the state, that's what.
Well, we shouldn't even have to have a first or second reading on it until the state.
Already.
Make sure.
That's something that you all can decide. KCO sent it out because a lot of counties were requesting it. But again, it may or may not be valid based on what they do on 627.
And we can even, well, it says here, put it orange, that we can even choose specific roads where it's allowed or disallowed. But could we not do that anytime after today?
Do the ordinance, sure.
Anytime after today, like Christmas time, we want to change something. Okay.
I'd actually wait till this all gets through the state, and then come back and see what we're left with, and then make the changes from there if we
Yeah.
want to. That's what I
I
would
think we just vote to opt in on it.
Yeah,
Go
wait and
on.
see.
Sure.
Yeah, wait and see. All right.
So this will allow us to start collecting basically as soon as the ordinances, or as soon as the state approves it, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Now, and then, of course, it'll be according to the currently written statute. And then if we choose to make it, because statutes, you can usually make them, you can't make them easier, but you can make them harder. So, well, on some things, but this one, I guess we can. We can cut off roads if we choose down the road. So, all right. Any other discussion on the motion to opt in to the side of the street legal special purpose vehicles? All right, hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion passes. So we are opted in. Next, page 102, we have, Emma, I'm glad you're staying with us today. We have another co-op student that would like to work off and on till he goes to college, maybe in August. And he's got a busy summer plan, so it'll be sporadic. But I'd like to entertain a motion to hire Grayson Hughes as a temporarily seasonal employment in, we'll share him with, actually wherever he's needed. We sent him down to the animal shelter last week when we had a person on vacation.
So moved.
Grayson Hughes at $17.50.
Second.
All right, have a motion by Dak, second by Mike, to temporarily seasonally hire Grayson Hughes as needed during the summer at a rate of $17.50, and he's already passed the hiring requirements. So any other discussion? All right, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion passes.
Question, maybe Emma, what's the age limit on hiring seasonal employees? How old do you have to be?
I think it's 16, but I'm not very sure. For different work employment places, it's different under the different labor laws with Kentucky, but I'm not really sure.
Yeah, which, the only thing is that like the co-op kids, not,
At our high school? Well, our
Yes.
high school now, the rules are changing a lot. I can speak on what happened last year, but I'm not really sure what's happening in the future because of Leslie Slaughter would be someone to talk to about that. She's a lot more informed about it than I am because they've changed a lot of the rules. But for me, it's any high school senior that meets the qualifying requirements. You're allowed to leave at a specific time during the day. For me, I got to leave after fifth period, so I came to the judge's office at 1 o'clock and I was there till closing time, 4:30.
the only thing they can't do is you can't operate any mechanical machine until you're 18. You can't even drive a zero turn.
I've got a kid that goes to church, he's 17, and I told him I picked up an application to do something for him, he was something.
Yeah.
He can work, but he can't operate a machine.
Right, right. He can't drive, anything
Gotcha.
till they're 18. That's a federal, I believe, child labor laws. It's not a state, I'm pretty sure.
I think it's a high school rule.
I'm pretty certain there too, because I don't think that's spelled.
And probably more so I do with our insurance.
Yeah,
Well,
it probably deals exactly with that, your insurance and stuff like that, but there would be no rule prohibiting them from, that I'm aware of, from operating a vehicle if they're legally able to operate said vehicle.
yeah.
Like if it requires a license.
I know I was at a meeting in Shelbyville and they were talking about doing it, and I said, I don't think the child labor law allows it, and somebody Googled it, and you gotta be 18. So, but that's another
We
day.
can look at it.
Yeah. But Grayson I don't know, you already turned 18, I think, didn't you?
One of them is 105 feet, the other one's probably 225.
Okay, all right. So, all right, did we vote on that, on Grayson? We did, didn't we?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, good deal. All right, next is the library board appointment on page 104. We have two names. I will make a motion to nominate Judy Miller to serve a second term on the library board.
And anybody got a problem, we're just doing both together.
Yeah, that's what I thought. We do both of them?
I think it's just one.
We need to nominate
Second. You make that
one.
motion?
Yeah.
Second.
I already have a motion by myself, seconded by Will, to nominate Judy Miller to serve the second term on the library board. It doesn't say here when it expires, but I'm trying to think how many year term it is. Well, anyhow, it expires on June 30th, 2025, so it will start on July 1, and she'd serve a second term. Okay. Any other discussion? All right, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion passes. All right, uniform policy proposal on page 106 is basically where it is. We came up with this, and this is gonna be a ton cheaper than what we've been doing. We're proposing the $750, but you can buy a lot of clothes for $750, in my opinion. But we could pay that for the employees of road, parks, recycling, maintenance, animal control. And then eligible is county-approved polos, shirts, jackets, coats. We will pay to put their name embroidered on it. Ideally, we need our guys out and about marked. The recycling fellas come in particular offices. The parks department folks go in particular offices and places of business. So we want our folks, our maintenance guy, we want our folks identified. We will pay to do that. We also will pay to buy hard hats, safety vests, if all that's needed. And this would not carry over if they didn't use it, but they could use up to $750 a year to buy the uniform, as a uniform allowance, and that includes the boots, which we've been doing $75 on boots. And you all know that doesn't buy many boots.
They're about flip-flops now,
Yeah, so, but this is an allowance policy for you all to consider. And again, we'll be saving money versus what we've been doing.
So are we gonna have certain vendors they can go to?
Yes,
Okay.
yeah, that's the intention.
I just maybe like to throw a one-liner in at the bottom of this, that, you know, that all the uniform, you know, should be approved by the department, right? You know, that way you don't, the one thing you don't want is you don't want a huge variance. You want everybody to look uniform in the uniform policy, so I think you need
Just say shirts, navy blue.
right, well, I mean, the department needs to come up with whatever their uniform is gonna be for their department, and it needs, and then when these people go buy their stuff.
Well, like under eligible items, it says county approved,
Yeah.
so we could, you
I'm
know,
just saying the policy doesn't
pick the
spell out what
color.
it is.
Well, it has to be, it has to be approved by the county, so, you know, we can say that it has to be matching, or we could, you know, we could specify the colors.
I was just thinking you ought to put it in there what it is.
Okay.
So it's listed in the policy, so if anybody has a question, well, you know, can I get these pants and wear them, well, what's your policy say?
Well, that's what I said, if you have a vendor though, and you say, okay, Spencer County Road Department, for your for this vendor, this is what they can buy. Because that's it, I mean, I've never worked any place that didn't have to have uniforms, and that's the way it always did, is they send you there, say, here's what you can get, pick out what you want of it.
And on page 107, it says department heads are responsible for ensuring compliance with dress codes and OSHA requirements. So, I mean, the dress code could, to me, would include colors.
Do we want each department to have totally different uniforms, or we want all the county employees to basically have the same?
Basically, we can, you know, we could say that, well, we could say that we want you to all wear polo shirts.
Or black, or white?
Well, I mean, think about what we got going on right now.
I
Think
think
about,
y'all just you need to talk to the department heads and.
say, this is what we expect.
Well, I think you need to get them together and lay out something, you know, because when you usually have a uniform policy, there's a whole lot more to it. So, you know, like, are you gonna allow shorts in the summertime, or are you not gonna allow shorts, or certain departments?
Well, again, that's like meeting the dress codes. You know,
Do we have a
Like
dress
saying,
code?
we
don't
can
have
hire,
it, you know, do it.
My question is, do we have a dress code policy?
well, I mean, I have seen our guys wear shorts, I have seen our guys wear long pants.
I don't care if they do, I just want everybody to be uniform,
I mean,
and look professional.
well, I don't disagree with that at all, but at the same time, you know, some of our department heads will not wear clothes that, well, we got one department head that kind of wears what he wants, and,
Well, that's why you got
That's why you gotta have it in here.
a dress code.
well,
Well, I think
no,
though,
I'll do what you all tell me
I
to
think
do,
you
and I
don't
can
have to
do that.
spell out a really specific dress code, but I think that it'd be a good idea to have to find some vendors, pick your vendor,
Yes,
and then have all the department heads come in and say, okay, everybody's gonna wear one color. What do y'all want?
I work for a local company here, and when they had this deal, and we used Valley Hill or whatever right here on Main Street. If you go there and you order your shirts and your clothes from there, they embroidered them there, and then that's what it was. You just went down there, your shirt got ruined, your shirt, all right here in town.
Well, I think
that's what we're aiming to do.
Well, I think this is a good idea, but I think you need to have a dress code to go along with it, and then part of the policy needs to stipulate, you know, well, you know, this is our policy, you abide by the policy, if you don't, you get sent home, or whatever, you know. You don't want to throw something out there with no teeth in it, and we want to make sure people understand that we're serious about acting and looking professional, we're giving you the money to look professional, we expect you to dress as such.
But it's what I'm saying, I mean, like I said,
Just underneath, like you said, you
but
got
I've always,
options.
you go in there and they give you, they say, these are what you can buy. This is what your
Yeah.
company says you can
Well, I
have.
think we ought to lay that out in
You
our dress
pick that
code,
out.
to accompany this.
Well, I mean, you know, I feel like it's covered there, where it says department heads are responsible for ensuring compliance with dress codes.
Yeah, well, like you said, you got a department head already, and one of the uniforms now.
Yeah, well, maybe they need to have a discussion.
So
So,
I'm just saying, that's,
Just meet with them and spell out that they need to be uniformed. One don't need to wear a pink shirt and one wear a white one.
But if you set that up beforehand with the vendor that say, look, they
Yes.
can have a blue shirt, or they can have a gray shirt. And they can have, you know, or whatever. Then, when they go in there to pick what they picked out their clothes, it's very specific list of what they can have.
That's
Okay,
fine.
you want a jacket?
I'm just
This
saying-
is a jacket.
where y'all get your
You
clothes
want a
from?
shirt? This is a shirt you want.
We buy our stuff from a place called Freedom Tactical.
All right, and what do you tell your guys?
We order the stuff in bulk every year when,
It's issues,
No, well, I'm just saying, but what do they do? They all pretty much look the same, they're all pretty much uniform. What do they do?
Yeah, but Robert orders
We
it all.
issue, yeah, we
Just
order.
give it,
Yeah, we order it, you know,
There you go.
so.
but we also have to, I'm sure he does too, we have to spell out in our standard operating guidelines what the
Exactly.
uniform is, what is allowed, what isn't allowed. We have that very spelled out and.
Sometimes you get mad, sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes our stuff is
You
cheap.
can If you have a list, and say you can have this or this, or this or this, or this or this, and then when it comes up to $750, it's
Another
in.
thing about footwear, if you're wearing no open toe shoes.
Yeah.
Right,
Right,
but
if
we
it's
have-
not on the list, if it's on the list, say, oh, you work for the road department, you have to have steel-toed boots.
Yeah.
So you
There's
have
some
to
of that stuff we
buy
gotta list
steel-toed
out.
boots.
All right, Scott's gonna take care of it.
yeah, so I mean, do y'all want to, so y'all good with approving the uniform allowance policy?
This just, all this is uniform allowance?
Well, it's these 2 pages. I mean, I can add, you know, I'll put the, you know, if you wanna add, that the dress code.
I think we need to get a dress code.
I'll approve, I'll make a
To
motion
accompany,
to approve
And not
750.
rush
so we
this,
need to-
you know, at our next meeting, we can talk about it after we get something on the paper about.
That's all I was
the
saying.
dress
All right.
Scott wants to get together with everybody, put a dress code together, then we'll approve them both at the same time, effective, you
Yeah,
know.
well, we gotta get it together, cause, it's 30 days from now. They're gonna be naked if we don't.
They'll be uniform.
Be uniform. That's true. All right,
Can we,
This is only gonna be
Can we have-
for full-time employees?
Full-time
in those-
only.
In those departments?
yes.
can we get a couple of vendors then to come in and say,
We'll
this is
try.
what, this is what we have to offer?
Right. And I mean, I've had the conversation going all spring with all the departments. You know, some of them said, well, we're gonna get them all at Carhartt. Somebody's Ken, somebody at Carhartt, we get a good deal. So, you know, basically this is just getting the money lined out and then we can get the nitty gritty. But I'll just,
We can approve that, but with the thought that.
Well, I'll do-
Make sure everyone.
I'll let it sit, and then I'll either have it at the next meeting, or I'll put it on the special call meeting on the 10th, and we'll discuss it then. So if we want to, we'll just, pass on the uniform policy for now, and we'll bring it up at one of the next two meetings. Social media archiving, I don't have anything in my book, you don't know about that, Emma?
I know it a little bit.
Yeah, we were discussing, thinking that I had something else I was supposed to pass out, but I didn't. We're discussing, and Michael Shelburne has been helping us with our IT stuff. I know he was out of town, but he's back now. And, but we have, we've been paying a pretty big price. I forget how many thousands it was, like 5,000, 6,000, to a company that takes your social media stuff and archives it for the Open Records Act. All right, now you're thinking, well, if it's on social media, it's all public information. But if, for example, the animal control has their own website, the sheriff has a website, EMS has a website. So all the stuff that they have has to be archived for a certain amount of time and so forth. We've been paying a company to do it. And if that's not a requirement, then we can do it another way and still meet Open Records Act, we're looking to do that. So, does that kind of sum it up, Emma, you reckon?
Yeah.
And so forth. So, and we've had discussions with Corey's office some about this, but I don't have anything in the book for that, so, but I wanted to bring it up to you that we're working on it. That's another thing to work on. So, next, anything else for, we vote on the invoices, bills, and transfers? And I don't have an executive session today planned. All right, so, I hope y'all have looked through the invoices, bills, and transfers. And if you had anything that stood out, let me know.
Motion to approve the invoice, bills, and transfers.
All right, so I have a motion by Will, second by Zach, to approve the invoices, bills, and transfers. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion passes. Anything else to come before this meeting?
I got a quick question.
Yes.
Y'all know if there's any ordinance as far as this door-to-door stuff? I was looking into it today, as far as people going door-to-door, sitting on pest control and all that.
Yeah, I had.
As far as anything that has any teeth, like if we have a new person that just won't take a hint or.
It'd be a nuisance ordinance, wouldn't it?
We had this problem this weekend, it's been on and off.
This covers it.
Just lock them
Yeah,
up,
but we just-
ring public alarm.
Well, we
There's
talked
been
about
several.
disorderly conduct,
Yeah,
trespass, things of that nature, but I think what.
I think most counties have one, I said, I don't know if we got, might be something to look at in the future.
Usually I,
At least 3 pest control people come to my door every
It was a
summer.
problem, I know, with pest.
And, they're all respectful and everything, except they're kind of,
Well, some of them this weekend
they're
were not.
persistent,
so-
you just basically gotta say, no, shut the door.
you know, Andrew,
Is that the ones right?
other than Washington, we,
Yeah, well, the other day was,
We started getting
girls,
girls,
the first time girls come. I don't know whether, I said, cause it's like they have a different name every time they come. And it's like, are you all, is this the same company as that last one? And they're like, no, it's a different company.
I think what we did up in Mount Washington, we started getting all their information, who they with, this, that, and other, and if they couldn't provide a copy of the business license, then stick Stephanie off.
And a lot of them are respectful, like college age
I think there were
kids.
just a couple that were not.
Yeah.
We do occasionally get some there. Just take care of the problem.
But a lot of them don't, you know, they'll be like a national company, but they'll send people out, but they don't get the local business license to tell them to try their locally, so usually you can
That's what he
end
was
it right there.
They had it on hoverboard?
Yeah,
Yeah,
come on my plate there, and come all the way back my road.
Hoverboard?
Yeah.
yeah, they did
Yeah.
that too.
You drive around on a hoverboard.
Yeah.
Y'all seen that movie, Secondhand Lines?
Yeah. Driving themselves.
Yeah, anyway.
They sold him all the corn.
Listen, I'm not suggesting anything, I just wonder if y'all seen that movie. All right, anything else come before this meeting? Doug?
We'll make note, we'll redo the CDs that we have at the People's Bank. Let's look at the 2 CDs are coming up that we have with German American too, and we'll renew them back at the top of the 7 months range or wherever, I think.
To get the highest rate.
With the highest rates or whatever we can get, but also depending on what we do with the pavilion and, different things like that may make a difference on some of them, how long we wanna keep, may have to cash out CDs or something.
That, the 2 million we put in here, I'm pretty sure it had $2,196,000.
It's $2,196,057.19.
See, it's earned that since we've had it in there. If we put flat 2 million in there, right?
I think it was 2 million even, or.
Yeah.
2.
I think it was flat 2. So, but
The other general one is $740,787 right now.
and then we got some opioid CDs.
$128,341.19, $54,127.85. If we can ever figure out what all we can spend opioid on.
Yeah, there's works in the process. I don't know if y'all saw on Facebook, the sheriff's office is getting real good use out of that incinerator. and out of these drug drop-off boxes. That they had, y'all had them, what, a month or 3 weeks, and got 20, 30 pounds of actual pills. You take how many pill bottles it takes to make 20 or 30 pounds. But there is a prescription drug drop-off box currently in the courthouse hallway and in the sheriff's office. The city is thinking about getting one for City Hall also. And you just walk in, open it up, stick your drugs in, your prescription drugs, of course, and don't want fluids.
No needles.
No needles or fluids. Yep. And then we'll incinerate them in our incinerator that we got. So, all right, I entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion by Zach, second by Mike to adjourn. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion passes. That was a busy meeting, fellas, and we got out in less than 2 hours.
I sent you 2 things. I sent you a summary sheet of the bids, so that you have
Okay.
all of them on one page. And then I also sent you,
you have my code?
you have to use
Get with you about that.
see who's at.
Okay.
Information, so I can see